Hello, everybody. Oh, Lord. Y'all got to excuse the camera. I guess I could get that together while I'm waiting on everybody. I guess I can get that together. So, to everybody that don't know, welcome to Anointed Tea Podcast, and I am your podcaster host, Lucretia. So, on yesterday, we talked about love or lust, and we also talked about yes, when y'all see me looking down, just know I put my notes on this. I ain't just jumping on here giving y'all anything. I care about y'all. It's a purpose to this. So I did it on yesterday, love or lust. Is everybody cheating? And believe it or not, I got some people that came in my inbox that expressed their input on it and their spiel, what I call it, on the subject of the matter. And I really enjoyed that even after the podcast ended. So if you come on the live, I would appreciate it if you would share the live. My podcast channel is Anointed Tea. Anointed Tea. Because we're going to talk about the tea, but we're going to keep God all up in the business, okay? And let me give all glory and all honor and all praises to God who make all things possible. So if you come on the live, I would appreciate it if you share the live for me. And if you're on the live, if you could go to the YouTube, it could be after the part after I finish. Go to YouTube and find Anointed Tea. If you could subscribe for me to the live on Anointed Tea, I need 50 subscribers, okay? That's all I'm asking for, so that I will be able to go live on my YouTube platform. So let's hop into episode 1. So episode 1 is everybody cheating, love or lust. Y'all, this was not to be messy. This was most definitely prevalent and things that people experienced. But I stuck to the subject matter. Is everybody cheating? And can people differentiate between love and lust? And the responses were nice, amazing, authentic. And we got to talk about it. And I enjoy every moment of it, because these are things that we face, quote unquote, these days. Okay, y'all? So today will be episode 2. So we talked about, is everybody cheating? We talked about not in a messy manner. We don't do mess. We're not calling names. We weren't pointing fingers. It was all open discussion. There was no right or wrong answers. This is a judgment-free zone. So, yeah. So, episode 2, which is today. I want to welcome everybody to episode 2, Bitter or Better, okay? So, we talked about, is everybody cheating? And no, everybody's not cheating. That's the tea. Everybody's not cheating because I, myself, am not a cheater. I am not a cheater. It's either I'm with you or I'm single. It was that simple. So it was a few ladies that personally came on so I could discuss it, because it was open and it was on the podcast. It was a few ladies that came on who said, I'm going to tag some people, y'all, who said, hold on, y'all, give me a second. I am tagging some people in this. Whether they respond to the invite or share it, either way will be a blessing for me and others that may be preoccupied with something or just did not know that the podcast was happening. So hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm just inviting people to the podcast. Hold on, y'all, because for whatever reason, hold on, y'all. I'm almost done. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm still doing invites. Hold on. I'm going to stop. 1 second. Hold on. Bear with me. Everybody coming onto the live. Share the live and welcome. And thank you for joining me. Because it's all about you all. It's all about us as a community. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm just going down the list. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, now I'm going to stop right there. Hey, auntie, my auntie is on here. Share the live, and I need y'all interaction. So, now, I done did my invites because for whatever reason on Facebook, and I love Facebook. This is nothing against Facebook, but for whatever reason, I could not tag the amount of people that I was trying to tag, or the people, even when I did the least amount, it won't let me tag it, but we're moving on. So that's what we talked about yesterday. Is everybody cheating? That was the topic. And I found out everybody ain't cheating. Everybody ain't cheating. You know, some people just suck at communication. Some people don't know what they want. These are all the things we came up with the people that came onto the live, and even the people that reached out to me in my inbox. So everybody's not cheating. You know, we came to that conclusion that really and truly on yesterday, this is just my 2 cents. This is an open discussion. The comment box is open. If you would like to be a guest, you can come on live. It's open. So on yesterday, I discovered everybody is not cheating. You know, some people, a couple of responses was, you know, some people just, you know, don't know what they want. Then you got other people that settle for whatever their reasons may be. But the subject was a committed relationship, okay? And I'm just giving y'all a little reminder because today is episode 2. We're doing bitter or better. So this the piggyback off of yesterday where we did love or lust. Is everybody cheating? And I know I am from Memphis, Tennessee. I don't know where all my viewers are from, but I am from Memphis, Tennessee. And the first time we see the word tea, and then we see cheating, and then we see love or lust, that translates to, oh, it's about to get messy. No, it did not get messy. We was all grown, and it was all open, and it was not any shots fired. It was just an open discussion about adulting and committed relationships. So that was the key word, committed relationships. Not if you're single and mingling, it did not apply to you. It applies to people that say they want to be in a committed relationship, okay? Whether it's marriage or a commitment, a monogamous relationship with 2 people, and someone steps out or someone wants a side piece. We talked about all that on yesterday. You all can go and watch the video. I'm not going to stay there too long. So today is episode 2, bitter or better. So after we talked about why do people cheat, we talked about, you know, do people even understand the difference in love and lust? Loving somebody and lusting somebody is 2 different things. And I think some people cannot differentiate between the 2. Loving me is your genuine, pure motive is unconditional. It's the best way I can express it. Y'all can put y'all comments in the comment. But lusting me, you like my eyes, you like my hips, you like my, it's a sexual preference. It's something that turn you on for the moment. Lust is never, it's something that is not as satisfying as loving someone. You can love someone, it's so momentarily. That's just my spiel on it. So, if you come on the live, share the live for me. So today, episode 2, bitter or better. And what I wanted to talk about on this episode was, What did infidelity do to you? What did being cheated on? Because we talked about, it's everybody cheating. So if you've experienced being cheated on, or if you've been the one that has been the cheater, how did it shape your views? So I have questions. I have questions for my audience. So, and the first question was, after you've been cheated on, or after you have cheated, because really and truly, it's similar in a way, but it's not similar in a way. Because as a cheater, I'm sure you know the red flags. And that's the question. Do you look for red flags? Or what are the red flags? And I've already interviewed someone for this who couldn't be here. But we're going to have an open discussion on it. So as a cheater, or as someone who's been cheated on, do you look for red flags? Like, how does that affect your outlook? After being in a relationship, committed, let me keep that word prevalent and present, a committed relationship. I know y'all don't want to talk about this. This too touchy-feely. And everybody, this a new damn time. Like, nobody don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it on here today. Tomorrow may be something different, but we're going to talk about this today. So, the person I interviewed, and I'm not going to put their name out there because they're not on the show, but I was given permission to talk about it. And then I also talk about some personal experiences and some things I've seen and some things I've been through. So do that cause you to look for red flags? And if it does cause you to look for red flags, hey, look, Peatrice, share the live for me. And does it cause you to look for red flags? Like, are you traumatized? Like, what type of trauma has cheating or being the cheater caused you? Because I seen an interview of a guy. He was like, I cheated on women for years to the point that I don't even want to get married. He said because he's always been the side piece, to the point that he don't even want marriage. He don't even want to commit a relationship. He said because he's been the side piece to women that are wives and etc. So just remember, the shoe can be on either foot, as a man or as a woman. This is not just for the women, okay, y'all? And so, do cheating. Come on, y'all, comment. I need y'all talking back. So, and not if it's gonna cause you some trouble. It is not that serious. It's just an open discussion, and maybe it can help somebody. So, do cheating make you, look for red flags? Because I'm gonna tell you, when I was younger and dating, like I said, I've been a wife. I've been the naive girlfriend. And I hadn't experienced, being in love and being cheated on or whatever. So as the young naive girlfriend and the young naive wife, I hadn't experienced that trauma, so that never crossed my mind. Like, it just never did. I don't know why. It just never did. I was loved. I thought I was being loved properly. I had no reason to think about anything else because I thought it was all me. So after those experiences, it's almost like people say when their quote unquote innocence has left, or they're exposed to other things in the world, and they be like, I seen different after that. So after my innocence left, after I realized these things do happen, then I began to not just look for red flags, because, I was young, so I didn't look for red flags, but it became familiar. Being cheated on, things that come with adulting and relationships, and the drama and the everything. When I was younger, it began to look familiar. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I was looking for red flags. I wasn't looking for no red flags, but the red flags were there now because I've experienced the trauma of being cheated on. You know, I just never have been the cheater. I've always been the one to be cheated on. And even when I had the leeway, I had the mindset, I was intelligent. If I wanted to play a game, I could have, but that was never my MO. I always felt like I just never wanted to put, for one, I never wanted to put the effort into trying to cheat. Like, I can remember moving on my own and going to college and coming out of my first marriage. And I'm like, okay, I'm really single and I'm still young and people still checking for me. So I'm like, okay, like, this cool. Because, you know, when you jump off the porch and you've been locked down in a marriage and now you're single, you like, okay, like, what's out there? What's in the dating world? So I can remember, y'all, and y'all can laugh, y'all can talk about me. Like I said, I got tough skin. I can remember actually, like, trying to, this back when we had telephones. We had landlines. So I can remember actually being like on the phone or having more than one person to call me because I done exchanged numbers. Not visit me. Just FYI for the nosy folks. Yes, baby. But they would call and I'd be like, oh my God. If I am the only one who has done this, then so be it. But I'm sure, I'm almost 99.99999% sure I'm not the only one. So I will be like, talking to multiple people is not for me. I don't want to think that hard and I don't want to work that hard. That's a job. I couldn't even remember one guy. Now, I hung up with one guy when the other guy was on the other end. And I'm like, yeah, Tom. And I'm like, he like, Tom. I'm like, oh, Lord. Hold on. John, wait a minute. Hold on. No, cheating, talking to multiple people is just too much work for me. That's just my tea on it. You know, everybody got their preference. So, boom, let's keep going. So, I discovered quickly, like, this is not my tea. Like, there's just too much work, too much effort, too much everything that I don't want to be in the mix with. So, you know, afterwards, that's when, after trauma, like, people experience trauma in their life. So after the trauma, after things happen, I believe, that's just my 2 cents. Y'all welcome to come out to the live and y'all welcome to comment. But that's just my 2 cents. After the trauma happens, that's when you can't ignore red flags. And it's not that you're looking for them, but they're there. And then it's some people, I believe, that do not heal from trauma. So when they go into these relationships, I feel like they think they're better, but I feel like they're still bitter. And that's the topic of discussion, bitter or better. What did infidelity, you know, do to your views on commitment? So I feel like after you've experienced this type of trauma, after you've dealt with a cheater or someone who said that they wanted to be in a committed relationship, but then, and your intentions was pure and you was with that one person and you committed to their relationship because you thought this what y'all were doing. I just feel like after someone has crossed you in that way and you put your all into something, of course, how can you ignore red flags? How can you recover in a way that if it's there in your face, like, you can't acknowledge it? So I just feel like people that have experienced that type of trauma, one red flag for me is, like I discussed on yesterday, is inconsistency. Free game. Inconsistency. Like, when a person cannot be consistent and available outside of work, outside of responsibilities, outside, it's just basically saying access. You know, because when you love someone, it's called, this is my 2 cents, y'all. This is not right or wrong. It's called all access. Okay? Because when I'm in a committed relationship, that means it's called commitment. We have agreed to this. You have all access, not in a controlling manner. That's another topic. We're going to stick to the topic, but not in a way of narcissistic, of being a narcissist, not in a way of witchcraft controlling a person. It's no control at all. It's a mutual agreement that we're in this together. So I need you to be accessible in a way of communication, in a way that if it's an emergency, I can say I can count on you. Now, if you're working a job and you can't be by your phone, it's saying if it's a true emergency, I can call the front desk and they're going to know this is so-and-so wife. This is so-and-so significant other. And it's got to be important. Not on no games and on no immature stuff, like accessible. So back to the subject, bitter or better. So I really believe that some people feel like they're better, but it may be a hint of bitterness about it still there, or a hint or residue of hurt and trauma still there. And that's not a bad thing. You can still recover and you can still heal from those type of things. So, like I said, I interviewed someone and I'm just going off of the questions in. I want you all feedback and hopefully this can help someone. I don't know. I'm just going on with the show. So accusing is another thing that I was told. So like, what did infidelity do to your views? Like, and the person I interviewed said, well, a red flag for me is a person that's always accusing, knowing, and you knowing it's not you. You're knowing this. Like, I am, back to that A word, I am accessible. I am available. I am here. I am willing. I am prioritizing things in my life to accommodate us. I understand we are a team. So this person said, I was being accused a lot, knowing that it was not me. And that is a red flag. Like when you, and one thing about life, it's not always verbal. Communication comes in so many forms. So you may not verbally be accusing me, and there could be some of it, but you can accuse me in ways of why you ain't answer your phone, what you was doing, like why you ain't, like I'm a suspect in an interrogation room. When I'm like, hold on, I'm available. I'm right here. I what you mean? Like, why are you accusing? Like, are you accusing me? So it can be directly or indirectly. So this person told me that that's a red flag for them. Somebody always accusing you when you knowing it's not you. So, and that goes back to bitter or better. This person was like, I was all into the committed thing and everything, but I kept getting accused, knowing I'm available. I am accessible. This, So I was like, okay, bet. So I could understand that. A person always accusing you. Hey, Tawana, love you. Share the live for me. A person always accusing you, and it's not you. You're not doing anything. You're all in for the commitment, everything. Like, why accuse me? I'm always available. I'm ready for the bubble baths. I'm ready for the massages. I'm ready for you to be out work. I'm ready for all the lovey-dovey. And every time I look up, it's a conflict with you, not me. Okay, we're moving on. And that goes back to inconsistency. We already talked about that. And then here's another one. Another one I got. Discussing problems. This came from a person. Discussing problems. You are going, hold on. See how to word this. So basically this person said, a person that involves their family is a red flag. Ooh, hallelujah, somebody. A person that involves their family is a red flag, and the way that she explained it to me is, you put your family, her significant other, or vice versa if it's a man, his significant other, includes the family in their disagreements or their issues all the time, in a negative light, it involves the family knowing that they will be with this person. That's powerful, y'all. That's powerful. Because what does your family, as long as you ain't beating on me, and it's no physical abuse or mental abuse, why should our family know we got the arguing in line in the ice? We had a disagreement because you thought that I should accept them giving me some onions on my hamburger, and I'm picky about my food. I'm just making up a narrative. Something simple, and you go back and tell your family everything. You report all the negativity, everything that we're doing. We had a disagreement about long and short hair. Like, that ain't their business. Like, why are you going back steady? Why are you even discussing our personal? This supposed to be our commitment to each other. It goes back to their commitment. So those were some of the things that was discussed about bitter or better. Hello to everybody coming on the live. Share the live for me. And welcome to my podcast, Anointed Tea. And go and subscribe. If y'all can hear me on the audio, can somebody just type yes for me and I'll leave y'all alone? Can you type yes if y'all can hear me? Because when a message come through or something come through, sometimes it say that the audio stops. So back to the what we're talking about, episode 2, bitter or better. You know, what did infidelity, cause you? What views did it do to? How did it change your views to commitment? So now I'm gonna get into, y'all, the tea. That's the tea of it. Different things that infidelity and being cheated on or being a cheater cause some people. But I'm gonna get into biblical context. And the thing that the Lord brought to me was Leah and Rachel. They were sisters. Jacob wanted the younger sister. He wanted Rachel. So he was willing to do the work for Rachel and willing to do whatever for Rachel. But Rachel was barren. And he got the oldest sister. And I think Jacob, y'all, I'm just paraphrasing, y'all. I think Jacob had several relationships before Rachel had, am I saying it right? Rebecca. No, it's Rachel. It's Rachel. Before Rachel was able to even have children. But Jacob wanted Rachel as a wife. However, Rachel couldn't bear children. And also, the father didn't want to let Rachel go. So, I'm saying all that to say this. When we talk about infidelity, when we talk about bitter or better, Rachel was like, I love my husband, but I can't bear him any children. And that kind of made Rachel feel some type of way. So Rachel accepted. We talked about this on yesterday. Rachel accepted him sleeping with the servants and the other people, the other women. Rachel accepted that because of her commitment to her husband. And she felt like, God has bearing my womb. I can't give him children. I can't give him a legacy. I can't give him what I feel like he should have. So therefore, I'm going to allow him, to be with other people. Although he chose Rachel from the beginning. Rachel had his heart. Rachel is who he desired. Rachel is who he married. Rachel is who he worked for. Rachel is who he tilled the 7 years for. Rachel is who he accepted all the bullcrap he had to go through to obtain his wife, the wife that he wanted. However, he still willingly slept with other women, even out of her influence. And the Bible don't speak specifically about reasoning, but it says he had several other wives that he bore children with. And this is the Bible days. This is not 2025 men that are on this podcast. Don't even play it. Outside of culture, you better know what culture, what religion, and you better know who you're serving and what you're doing, because this is not a joke. But he had several wives. So But my whole thing is Rachel was the woman. She was the one that he wanted. And Rachel ended up bearing children later on down the line. But I'm just using all this to say, to flip it back to my podcast episode on yesterday. It was said that some women accept infidelity. Some women accept their men cheating. Now, their reasons may be different. You know, I've met women who be like what the subject was. They all cheat. They all cheat. Everybody cheat. And I was just like, no, I can't agree with that because I haven't. And it's not, like I said, it's not like I'm little Miss Goody Two Shoes. I just have never been into cheating because I think it's, like my word was overrated. I just think it's unnecessary. Like, cheat for what? Cheat for what? I could be single. Why would I go and cheat? Like, I could be single and date who I want to date on my terms. And if I want to date two guys, I could date two guys because I am genuinely single and it's all on my terms, what I want, my preference, and whatever my expectancy is for what I'm dating for. Okay? So you have your reasons, like it was said on yesterday. Excuse me, I just got through eating. But like it was said on yesterday, you know, some women and men, I am a woman. So if it's men on this live, like I said, flip it and put it on the other foot. If it's a woman, you know, put a woman in place of where I'm putting a man. But like, you have just got to know your reason. It all boils down to reason and communication. And that's what I said. Like, I can respect the man who be like, I got a wife, and y'all forgive me for what I'm about to say. Basically saying, I got a wife, I just got whole tendencies. I am not healed. I am not recovered. I don't got no self-control in that area. Like, just bold-faced it, like, this is me. This is what I'm dealing with. I can respect the man and move on who give me my option, because I'm going to move on, because I'm not going to be second to any woman. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. We both need to be single. We both need to have the same agenda, because other than that, what are we dating for? I am a woman that date with an expectancy. Like, I'm not one of those women. I'm not going to never marry. No, that's not me. I want a committed relationship, but I'm not desperate. I'm not thirsty for one. I want God in it. I want it to be ordained. I want, like I told y'all on yesterday, you want it to be a healthy relationship. You want it to be a happy relationship, a flourishing relationship. And that's just like putting a seed in the ground. If you put a seed in the ground, anybody that's a planter knows, and I am not a planter, this is all narrative. If you put a seed in the ground, it's with an expectancy of some kind of fruit, of some kind of output. You putting the input, hold on, you're putting the input because you want the output of it. So therefore, if I'm going to put into something, it needs to produce some type of fruit. It needs to produce some type of output. And a lot of men that I have encountered in the last 3 years of being single just don't seem to get that concept. Like, sleeping with you, I suck at being a girlfriend because God created me to be a wife. Hello, somebody. I can't speak about no other women. But sleeping with you or giving you access to my mind, body, and soul, because being the woman I am, I'm not going to just sleep with you without it being some type of commitment or some type of agreement in the relationship. Now, I have not always been this grown. Like I said, this come from life experiences and things that we go through. You should get wiser. Not everybody, but you should. With age comes wisdom. And that doesn't mean you got to be 100 years old, because God speaks about out of the mouths of babes, a child can impart wisdom to people from God, okay? A child, you can learn. It's about living and learning. And so I just can't see myself. You know, it's like some people like, well, you got too much of an expectancy. What man gonna like? No, I don't. Because the same thing I'm asking The same thing that I require, as it's been said a million times, the same thing that I require, I can provide. Hello, somebody. The same thing that I require, I can provide. You know, I'm not going to require anything in a relationship that I can't provide. Whether it's time, wedding, whatever the requirements are in the mutual agreement that y'all have. The same thing that you require, you have to be able to also provide. And I'm not just talking about money. The first thing that people think about is money. No, we're not talking about money. We're talking about the mind, the body, and the soul. So that means it includes finances. It includes health, wealth. It includes the whole total package of everything about a person being. So yeah. So back to bitter or better. So I hope, because like I said, to get better, you have to forgive. To get better, you have to understand this is where the glory of God come in at. This is where prayer life come in at. This is where the word of God comes in at. This is where our substance come in at. This is where whatever don't kill you make you stronger come in at. Because the things that I endured and the things that I experienced could have made me or broke me. And I chose life. I chose God. Growing up in the church, growing up around saints, growing up around real people, not just everybody sanctified and holy, but back when a village was raising a child, just the whole shebang of everything that make us who we are. I chose life. Did it feel good? No. Was I traumatized? Yes. Was I bitter? For a moment, I was. Like, who gets their heart broke? Who gets hurt by somebody? And especially at a young age. Like, I get tickled sometimes because I've heard the heartbreak songs in this new generation. And one song, a guy was like, I hope you get hit by a train. I hope you get ran over by a car. Like, you know, those are real emotions that people experience sometimes. And I am around mature, elder women and men. And like I said, being in ministry and talking to people, I've heard people be like, you know, no, I can't forgive them. Like, they hurt me. And this new generation call it they get back. Some people be wanting they get back. But at the end of the day, I just feel like, you know, is the get back worth it? I'd rather get better than get back. And that goes back to bitter or better. I'd rather get better and not get better to the point where, like, I'm finna stun on the other person because, ooh, that irks my soul. I am not in competition with anybody. If I get better and I heal from a situation that could have caused me mental anguish, depression, sadness, you know, the things that we go through with relationship problems that people don't like to admit and talk about. You know, you can jump bed to bed to bed, person to person to person. That is not where your healing takes place. Your healing takes place facing you. Okay, facing me. I asked myself, so what did I do? Like, was it me? Did I cause this? Did I do, you know, this and that? That goes back to the episode on yesterday. Like, is there ever a reason to cheat? Or is there ever a reason to be cheated on? And the realistic part of it for me was, you know, no, I didn't. Like, I was available. I was willing. I had all of the assets of wanting to be a healthy, want to be a great partner. I'm talking about Bonnie and Clyde type of stuff. I'm talking about not that for my man stuff, because nah, don't do that one. Don't do that one. Now, I love you, but somewhere we got to have some boundaries. I ain't never been the for my man chick. Because if my man for me, he ain't finna be doing stuff like that, and I ain't either. If I ain't doing nothing, for you to have to sit in front of a judge and testify a lie, don't you do nothing. It's got to be mutual. That's why you got to communicate. But back to what we were talking about. Like I said, yes, I had to heal. You have to heal. You have to recover from those things. I chose life. I chose to be better. Not on no get back type of stuff. Not on no, I'm finna shine on this, you know what, this ninja. I'm finna shine on this bride. No. I'm finna shine for God. Like, Lord, I want the promises of you. I know my potential. I know my worth. I know my assets. I know my qualities. I'm thankful for who you made me to be, Lord. You help me heal. Let me heal through the word of God, y'all. That's why it's called anointed tea. See, we're going to talk about the tea, but we're going to give God his glory, because had not it been for the Lord that was on my side. Hey, Riri, shut the live for me. Had it not been for the Lord that was on my side, I wouldn't have been able to recover from that. And I just feel like it's not talked about enough. Like, do y'all not realize I worked in not just mental health, but even growing up and going through life and not knowing what I was seeing? Like, relationships can be detrimental. Relationships can take people to a place a point of no return, a place of no recovery. And why? Because people don't talk about the fact that it hurts. It hurts when you are someone is telling you we're in a committed relationship. We're in a committed relationship. Someone is portraying an image, and you are believing because you're authentic. And some people be like, well, you should have seen it, and you should have seen the red flags like what we talked about. But baby, sometimes you miss the play. It ain't always a red flag on the play, you know? And that's why I always tell people, when it comes to love, and I'm going to wrap this episode up, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, I just feel like the only wrong relationship is a lie. If we're talking about committed relationships, stop putting out false narratives, false things to get what you want. When you know that you're in lust, you're not in love, which was on the episode yesterday. You're not in love, you're in lust. You need to be single. If you're not so out to loving your person, stay single or be honest. Be honest. I'm very interested in you, and I'm still dealing with trauma. Don't let nobody put you on hold now. I ain't saying that. Because some done tried that too. No, ma'am, no, sir. We not finna sit here and wait on nothing that God got for us. That's boom gang. God is not the author of confusion. That's the devil. But someone who authentically come like Jacob came. Come like he came about his wife in the Bible that he wanted. He tilled her daddy, y'all, for 7 years. Okay? No sex involved. No intimacy involved. I want your daughter. I want her for a wife. I want her. So, no. When I'm talking about coming like him, like, I know you what I want. What I got to do. And it's not dragging nobody through the mud. And instead of her natural father, he gonna have to go through your father, Father God, up in heaven. Lord, I want this one, and I do whatever I need to do. Not out of stupidity or ignorance, but out of the righteousness of God. Out of the righteousness of God. So that's my tea. That's my spiel on relationships. You know, and we go on and on about this, y'all. And that's why I said it's hard to stick to the subject. I didn't want to veer off. And I think I did good sticking to the subject with y'all about it. So, yeah. You either going to get bitter or better. You have people that leave this world. You have people that leave this world bitter. Hurt people hurt people. You have people that carry that trauma from their first broken relationship. And I talked about that on yesterday. It could be mommy, daddy, family issues that carry over into relationships, you know? But I didn't go that deep because they want the topic of discussion. And I'm deep, and y'all know I could go deep, and I could go all day, and I could go as deep as we want to go, sharing ideas and facts and opinions and whatever. I am an optimistic person. I do not have to be right. But when I'm right, and I know I'm right, I'm saying I feel like I'm right. But I'm humble enough to know that I don't always got to be right. Like, this is what we talking about. So, yeah. So, that's the tea. If you're going, like, if you feel like you're still hurt from a relationship, this is just my 2 cents. I just feel like it's better to get better. Because I've met, like I said, being completely single in 3 years, I've met people that say they are healed. That say they want commitment. That they could even have the assets, like own house, own car, own job, own everything that we be looking for, because we don't want nobody to bring us down. If I got my own house, own car, or if I'm working hard, somewhere we gotta, like, the foundation of adulting gotta be there. But when it comes to feelings, like, those assets is where they're lacking. And they can say that they're better. But if you listen long enough, you can hear the bitterness. You can hear the hurt. And even if they try to suppress it, and I feel like I've experienced this too, it's suppressed, but then it shows up. They put you're that Band-Aid for the moment. They feel good. They healing. But soon as that Band-Aid comes off, and we got to deal with this wound that hasn't healed and it's bleeding, or it's oozing out, it's a little pus, a little residue, it's a little aching. Soon as that Band-Aid comes off, now not only is that your wound, I'm right here with you when this Band-Aid comes off, so now it becomes our wound. I got to deal with your issues. I got to deal with your hurt. Now I got to become your doctor. I got to become your nurse for wounds that I didn't even put there. And then your angry moments become my angry moments. Your hurtful moments become my hurtful moments. Your suffering becomes my suffering. And this is without the commitment. This is without the truth. I didn't create this. I never knew it was there type of situation. Do you think that's fair? To bleed out on people, to hurt people? It's not. It's not. And a lot of people, and I'm finna let y'all go, and this is the topic of it, bitter or better. A lot of people think that they're better. Think that they're better, B-E-T-T-E-R. But really there's still a hint of bitterness. Really, it's still, I'm going to avoid this at all costs. Like anything that reminds me of that first trauma, I'm not dealing with it. Hey, Corey, share the live for me. I'm not dealing with it. So I think that there's something to consider before you move on. Are you bitter or are you better? Because hurt people, you know. So you got to do a self-evaluation. You got to do a self-evaluation. Because it's easy to hop in somebody's bed. It's easy to be in somebody's DM. It's easy to do all the immature kitty stuff that people do. But we're talking about committed relationships. Are you really? Is that truly what you want? And I just think people don't realize that they're still hurt. Or I use the term bitter or better. But yeah, some people never recover from the past. So everybody's a villain that come in their life. Everybody is going to show up. So heal, get better. Get better. And I just thank God, like I said, for the growth. When I was younger, it was a hint of bitterness. I'm like, don't talk to me. I don't got nothing. Like, it was cutthroat. But glory be to God, as I mature in the Lord, my prayer life, the anointing, the oil on my life, helped me to be a better woman and not a bitter woman. So I have the ability to love. I have the ability to be in a committed relationship. And I just feel like I'll be single until I feel like that someone is on that level, you know, because it's going to show up when people are hurt, when people are bitter, when people are not better. It's evident. So this was episode 2. Thank everybody that tuned in to Anointed Tea Podcast. Bitter or better? What did infidelity do to your views on commitment? I had people coming into my inbox, and a couple of women and men said that at one point they were bitter, like I just said. Like everybody, like if you say that you've never had any kind of growth, or you never experienced any kind of anything, at some point, it's just gonna be hard to believe. Not saying that I'm just saying. So a lot of them said they were bitter, but they got better. And I think getting better comes with time, and God's time, and not just our time, and not just the stereotype. Oh, you're 40. And I'm quick to say that. I'm so-and-so age. I've been saying that for years. I'm so-and-so age. I ain't got time for that. You know, I'm so-and-so age. I ain't gonna deal with it. So I'm quick to say that. But in actuality, there is no time on healing. But I feel like in the matureness of it, to understand that you're going through your process makes it better. So it's my prayers for y'all that y'all get better and not bitter. Because it's a lot of people that are bitter from somebody that hurt them 10 years ago. They have not healed. They have not recovered. May not never. That's not my business. But I would never want to be in a relationship with a person that has not healed. Do that mean you got to be perfect? No. But like I said, those wounds will ooze out on you. Those wounds become your wounds. That hurt becomes your hurt. That trauma becomes your trauma, because now you're connected to this person. And some people call it soul ties, whatever you want to label it. I'm okay with that. This is a judgment-free zone. I'm not here to critique anybody's beliefs or anything. But my faith is in the Holy Bible, the Word of God. And that's period. That's period. But the bottom line, in all reality, those are big facts. Hurt people. I've seen it time and time again. People that, if you want to put it this way, we can word it 1,000 ways. We can word it 1,000 ways. Hurt people. Y'all have a great one. Share my live. Go to my YouTube page, Anointed Tea, and tea with me. Go to my page, my channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need 50 subscribers in order to go live with you all on another platform, which is YouTube. If you enjoyed this message, and if you enjoyed this discussion, or if it touched you in any type of way, Leave your comments, like the video, share the video, and most importantly, keep God first. Be encouraged. You got my prayers. You got my blessings. And I pray that if you have come to realize you're still bitter, your girl praying that you get better. Because I pray for myself, Lord, keep me better. Don't let me get bitter. All right. Good night, y'all.